What you're about to hear is an excerpt from our weekly podcast that goes live every single Wednesday. If you are interested in listening to next week's podcast a whole week early, why not consider supporting us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month? That gets you access to all of our podcasts and audio download, and like we said, 1 week early access. Cheers. Thanks. Let's talk about the SNES Mini, or the SNES Mini.
No. You said it right the first time, dude.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm trying to be all-encompassing. If you're from Japan, it's the Famicom Mini. So for those who don't know...
They're not from Japan.
It's the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and for a lot of people, this is even more anticipated than the NES Mini.
Oh, yeah.
NES. So... the quick brief background is Nintendo are releasing a mini version of the beloved console on the 29th of September, and the console has been priced at $79 or 79 quid here in the UK. So as I just alluded to, it's not the first time Nintendo have done this. They released the NES Mini last year, November the 10th. And can you guys remember that and what followed?
Yeah, I mean, they kicked up a storm like just with their classic tactic of not making enough of them, and then that kind of creates this like rush to buy them, and then they sell out of stock. And that's great for them, I guess, because they'll definitely use up all their stock. But then there's so many sales that they're missing out on because all these people want it and then they can't get it. And that kind of thing is basically happened again, because they announced it last night and it sold out last night. Like from what I can tell in the UK at least, anyways.
Well, yeah, Liam,
your best bet's a waiting list.
Yeah, I had a look on Amazon, Game, and Smith's toy stores. All of them sold out of stock in like 10 minutes.
Smith's toy stores.
Yeah,
that's diving deep.
It's been about 12 hours since the announcement at the time of recording, and like Mike just said then, it seems that Nintendo do this a lot. It even happened with the Switch, and I think half of it might just be so on paper they can say every console we've released is sold out in the first week. It looks great on paper, but a lot of people miss out, and it causes a lot of problems. So why don't we talk a bit about the Nintendo Entertainment System from last year? It came out a month before Christmas. Guys, you've got kids. Did any of your girls want one interested? Were you looking to buy one for yourself or anybody?
Personally, no, I wasn't. Like, there's so many cheap games these days, and like both my girls have got PCs and tablets, so like, you throw them in front of a tablet and it's just as good. You get loads of free games on that. No, I wasn't interested because I knew that I'd have to scrimp and try and find some from wherever avenue that I can. Might even have to overpay for it on eBay or something like that. Exactly. I wasn't interested in that at all. I'd rather just download a free app on the tablets, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very much a nostalgia buy as well. So it doesn't. You can get these games on. You can get them running on PC, like, they're just ROMs, basically. The ones that are included in there, they're just like official ROMs, I guess. But it just looks nice, and it's got like, it's a nostalgia buy completely. It's got the right packaging, it reminds you of the 90s very much, so that's what they're aiming for. That makes you feel like you're buying something from the 90s, right? That's the key selling point. But it's something that maybe it's got an inflated price at 80 quid. It was very reasonable. It was a very, I think that's kind of fair, I guess, because it's a balance between like buying them up and
scalping them
and shoving them on eBay and
I
stuff.
saw a Nintendo Entertainment System last year because I was looking to get one for my little sister. 600 quid with active bidders on eBay.
It's
1 day after it was announced, and people, the person that bought it from the official outlets or whatever wouldn't have even received it at this point, and they were already. So
you'll get mine.
It's a calculated decision, and it happens a lot in other industries, doesn't it? Gigs and stuff, but it's
like Nintendo promote that kind of thing. It's like because of the way that they release it. Just release some more. Just make some more. What the f*** are they doing?
Distribution seems to be an intentional issue that Nintendo calls a lot. Like we're saying, how the Switch it happened with, didn't it? And they seem to relish in it, don't they?
Do you think it's because they've got the old business mindset?
I think that,
and they want to artificially create a high demand.
They're generally kind of like protectionist anyway, so they want to look after their like IPs and stuff. I think it's the same with stock. Like they don't want to put themselves on a limb. Like maybe people won't buy this, so we'll make this much and see how that goes, and maybe we'll make some more down the line. For people who are so pioneering in other ways, trying to push gaming in certain directions, they're incredibly protectionist and reserved when it comes to like just selling shit and getting stuff into people's hands. They're very careful.
They're tapping into that like human mindset, isn't it? If you can't get hold of something, that increases your desire. That primal instinct, like, I can't really get one, or I want it even more.
I find it quite hypocritical of Nintendo, considering they're supposed to be the family company with the games for everybody. But then when it comes to getting one of their consoles, especially in the first month or two, it's a very exclusive club, isn't it? It's who can afford it, who's staying up till early hours in the morning buying them and stuff like that. And for a company that tries to be so, we have all bases covered. XCOM
is for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. that's the sort of drama that's already surrounding it. And of course, like we were saying, there's going to be people scrambling to get it, like that Arnie film when he tries to get his kid that action figure. I reckon all Nintendo people are just sat there like Mr. Burns watching YouTube going, excellent,
this is good business. Over our console. Is good business. We need this. We need to create this.
So in talking of stuck in the 90s, Nintendo's console, the SNES, was for me one of the most important consoles, relevant to me because the NES I had and played, but I was very, very young, so a lot of my memories of it are kind of fuzzy. This is the first console I remember playing, and like I've got very vivid memories of Donkey Kong, Super Mario, Castlevania. It inspired me so much. Like I made music for a couple of years and was lucky enough to do that, and that's all from my time on the SNES. To me, this console is the thing that made me discover I love gaming. But I'm not interested in getting this one bit.
Well, all of what you just said is true for me, right? It was my first console outright. Didn't play any game before that. It's really appealing to me. Like, just looking at the list of games you get with it, there's like a lot of classics on there. Every game that you think that was on the SNES is on there for me, anyway.
It's quite a big list.
Apart from a few things like Super Star Wars and that, but I wasn't ever expecting that to be on there. But everything that I would want to, if I was going to revisit the SNES, basically got all of them on there.
That comes bundled in, right?
Yeah, they're on it.
With the NES Classic, the original one, that was so much further in the past, right? So more people will have SNES consoles who are collectors. They might have kept their SNES.
Yeah.
I don't have a telly that can run my SNES, because it's like you have to plug it in and stuff like that.
Is it a SCART lead?
It's one of the older ones, even in that. Yeah, so I don't know if that will factor into it. Liam, you are the youngest, as the youngest member of the group.
Yep.
Does this
team?
Team of gang
squad.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So as the youngest member of this collective of individuals, however you may call them,
thought collective. That's the youngest member of the thought collective.
We're not fucking poetry slam. What do you think? Is this more appealing than the NES Mini?
To me, it is. Like, obviously, I wasn't even born when the SNES came out. Sorry, SNES. Sorry.
That's right, mate. That's right.
I wasn't even born when it came out.
Yeah.
But I have an appreciation for all those games. Like, I love all the Final Fantasy games from that era, Chrono Trigger, like Secret of Mana. Those games are fantastic, and I'm really interested in getting a SNES Mini, just like purely as a I suppose nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
Just because I have good memories of those games because I revisit them not too long ago.
Yeah, it's an awkward bit of nostalgia. You didn't play them in their original state, but you still played them when you were young, so it's like a post nostalgia. I don't know how to describe it. It's weird, isn't it?
Straight out of the thought collective. Post nostalgia.
Surely it would be nostalgia if we were going to do something like that.
Dear.
That's come on.
Like, it does appeal to me. Like, it's a good way to revisit the past, I guess. Like, important moments in gaming history. It's an easy way to do it.
Gaz, I'm particularly interested in your answer because it's no surprise how you feel about Nintendo now. But what were you owned a SNES or was it?
Yeah, owned a SNES.
What do you think?
Played Mario Kart for days. It was a great system back in its day. I don't think that it wouldn't be appealing to me to play those games now. I'm not a collector. I'm not a retro gamer as such. I like modern games.
Moving forward, right?
Yeah, that's right. There are some things. I mean, I did used to play a lot of games on my old Amiga, Commodore 64. I had those platforms as well, and I prefer the games back from the Secret of Monkey Islands is one of the classics that I always think about.
Yeah.
But SNES was always like you sit around with your friends playing type of console. It wasn't something that I could sit and get my teeth into a game on that platform. I'd never sit there for hours on my own playing it. I guess because that appeal of like the Amiga games and the Commodore 64 games, that then progressed to my love of PC gaming. One
thing that stands out for me in terms of SNES games with a bang was Lilac Wars or Star Fox, as it's well known. So here's an interesting bit of information. Star Fox 2, which was never released. It was always talked about and it developed it allegedly, but it never saw the light of day, is coming out bundled in with this. And this is half of the articles that I've read about it is excitement about Star Fox 2. It's probably not going to be it's going to be like, oh, this is a SNES game.
Yeah.
But they're offering a new game with an old console. Is it that 80 quid sold on now? Is that a system seller?
For some people, probably.
Nintendo have system sellers, even if they're unreleased games from the 90s. Breath of the Wild, sit down. Do you know what I mean? It seems a bit of a weird one. I'll read out some of these games. Let me know if any of these take your fancy. I've picked some popular ones. So Contra 3's on there. Donkey Kong Country, which is my personal favourite. Earthbound is on there. Is that US though only? Because this is a big. This is the next thing.
There's different games depending what region you're in. Like Japan has some exclusive games on it. US has some exclusive games, and UK has some different games as well.
Isn't that annoying?
Yeah, seems pretty arbitrary as well.
We just
put them all on every version.
We had a look at the consoles look different as well.
Jesus,
there's a US version of the SNES, and it looked ugly, doesn't it? We had to look at it earlier.
It looks horrendous.
It looks like a 5-year-old's cosplay of a RoboCop.
That's what it looked like in America.
One big purple button. That's the full console.
Yeah,
no idea.
We're sorry for you, US.
The European one is beautiful.
Look how handsome that round, sleek little thing was.
I don't get it. Look, what is the decision that goes through their heads? Is like, oh, this region won't appreciate these games as much, or this region is going to appreciate this form factor over this other form.
We need more angles, more angular.
It's like, oh yeah, Americans are more angular, so let's go. Like how is that even
they still
a
drive
process?
boxy cars in America. That's what it is. And then they were in the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and they would have been like, oh, they like a nice rounded Ford
Make it the
Escort.
same shape as a Happy Meal. Yeah, it seems weird.
Totally overthinking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just release the games that people will.
The thing is, that decision would have cost money, and it would have cost. They would have had to manufacture different versions of it.
Well, when you say research, you say some like old guy in a suit sat in his ivory tower deciding what other people are going to like.
Someone's had to go and present him with ideas, though. They've had to pay someone to research ideas.
I think he's come up with the ideas himself. That's the problem.
That was like Nintendo's whole strategy in the 90s. Like, certain games didn't come out in certain areas just because they thought they'd never sell. Like, the UK didn't actually get Chrono Trigger till like 2008 when it came out on the DS.
Right.
That was the first time it was ever available in this country.
It's still quite the East and West thing, isn't it? Persona 5 and stuff. But yeah, you've got all the classics there. There's Donkey Kong's on there, Final Fantasy 3, The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, one of my...
It's actually Final Fantasy 6, that one. Like Nintendo again, they decided they put out 4 as 2 and 6 as 3.
Just to f*** everyone else up.
Yeah,
right.
And it caused like 20 years of confusion.
So by 3, we mean 6. So do you reckon that they're releasing this in September rather than November this time so they can sell out and then restock for Christmas, get the buzz going?
They have already sold out, haven't they? That's the thing. For the initial wave of product that they've got between now and, like you said, before Christmas, isn't it? To pump out another few 100,000 if they think they can sell that much, which I'm sure they definitely will.
They've sold out in 12 hours. Of course they're going to sell.
Yeah.
You know.
One would have thought, though, having had the experience of what happened with the NES Classic last time, they would have adapted their strategy and allowed more pre-orders.
They've changed the timings. That's what they've done. They've announced it earlier. There's more time between now and when it's actually out, and then there's more time between that and Christmas. So they're still doing the same thing, but they've kind of stretched it out, so maybe they've got more time to adapt.
So what are they
that's me being charitable.
Well,
that's me trying to.
Now,
they actually made a statement saying they're going to make significantly more units than the NES Mini, and
this is what they should do.
Yeah, and they say they're aware of the situation, but it just doesn't.
Seriously, guys, like 20 more units.
It doesn't sound
acknowledging an awareness of a problem is not dealing with a problem.
That's exactly
we know about the problem. Thanks. That's
like,
it. There's no like, oh, we're going to sort the problem out. There's none of that kind of wording in there. It's just we acknowledge there's a problem.
Yeah, so they've said we'll make more. They haven't said how much more, and they're only going to sell it between September and the end of December this year.
So basically,
and then you can't get.
Yeah, then it's gone forever.
So from now till September, when it comes out, no one can do anything. That's it, right? Yeah. They've all sold out now. So basically, if you want to get one, and we've been talking about this, and you feeling excited, tough shit. You're gonna have to wait till like after September.
For me, there's nothing wrong with doing something limited edition, but just make loads of it and don't make it hard to buy. Just make like so many of them that anyone who wants it in that window can have it because they've bought it in that time window. That's how limited edition works for me anyway. If the games are the main appeal as well, what they could afterwards, they could just release that bundle of software for like £5 because that is what it's worth, today.
Just put it on the Switch.
Put it on anything they want. Put it on the Switch, like 3DS or whatever. Let people experience those games without having to buy the whole retro box and the old unit and the old controllers and stuff. Let them play all those games in like one SNES bundle or something.
Like a little SD card.
Anything.
Well, funnily you should say that because you can do that. ROMs and emulators exist. They've existed for a while.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We can download a SNES emulator on our phones.
But if they want to make money out of it, I'm saying.
But what I mean is, as a consumer, why this over a ROM? Why this over getting...
Why would you?
Yeah, for 80 quid. Is they've changed anything? No. Star Fox 2 is the only reason this is got a point, really, isn't it?
It's the aesthetic of it.
Nostalgia, exactly.
It's having the unit itself and sticking it on there like you used to do, sticking it on next to your telly and playing playing it. I'm assuming that you play your ROMs through a PC or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
So it's that aesthetic, it's that same experience as you used to have.
That's the right word. They're selling an experience, like not just and I'm not saying that is worth buying. I'm saying that's what they're trying to sell you.
Good, no, I want to hear your thoughts. So, a quick sweep of the room, guys. Would you buy one?
No, definitely not.
If you could buy one today, Mike, and pick it up today, you would, Liam?
Yeah, I'd buy one.
That's right. So there we go. That's the SNES Mini, all encompassed.
Yeah.
Discussed.
Destroyed.
Get out of here. Thank you for listening to this podcast excerpt. If you liked the video, make sure to let us know in the comments. Why not subscribe if you're new around here? We've got plenty more content on the screen right now, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.